Hi, my name is Lee. Welcome to my channel Cola Flipper. I'm a UK eBay reseller. I buy second-hand items at car boot sales and charity shops, and I resell them online for a profit. Today was pretty much a washout. Last week's car boot was absolutely horrific. When I went, there was 4 cars. It just wasn't worth my time. I did end up picking up a few bits and pieces. But I thought today was going to be better because the forecast was dry, even though it's been raining all week. But it did mean that most of my local car boots were actually waterlogged. So I've got 5 or 6 within a sensible sort of drive, but I tend to only go to the nearest 4, and 3 of those were basically waterlogged. So I went to the only one that was open, and there was a decent amount of cars there, so I was feeling quite positive. But I haven't been to this particular car boot for a while, and what was disappointing is that I'd say 25% of the cars there, they weren't just traders. I've got no problem with traders, but it was more of it was lots of new type stuff, like cheap stuff that you'd expect at a market, so that wasn't brilliant. I'm absolutely covered in mud. Maybe I shouldn't have worn such expensive boots, but my feet were dry, so that's not so much of a problem. Things that did upset me, I've got 2 items. 2, wow, big whoop. But I still should be able to make some decent money on them. But something that really did upset me was the fact that people's behaviour, buyers' behaviour. You've got people setting up to sell, and as the cars came in, we all know that people will gather around the new cars to get the best bits as they pull up. But this was horrible. It was like a load of jackals just pouncing on people. They weren't even letting people get stuff out of the car. As the cars were pulling in, boots were being opened, people were just crowding and trying to pick through bags in the boot. I'll put some footage in a moment, but it was absolutely disgusting. I ended up finding security to go and get them to help these people, because I totally understand you want to be first at a car to see the goods come out, but let people get stuff of that out of their boot. Don't get into someone's boot. That's their private property. You don't climb in there. If you see a box with something in, you might ask permission to have a look. If they say no, back off. But these people were just climbing into cars, digging into stuff, pulling out clothes. If it wasn't what they wanted, it was being discarded in the mud. It was absolutely disgusting, and I don't want to be associated with that sort of behaviour. So if you do see that sort of thing going on, go and get help for the people, go and find security, because it's not on. And if that's your first car boot as a seller and you have that sort of experience, you're never going to want to go to another car boot to sell again. So you want to make someone's selling experience good as well. Yes, we're going to haggle and you want to get there early, but don't harass people, don't get in their boots. It was absolutely disgusting. Yeah, not brilliant. Anyway, I digress. Whilst the vultures were going through people's stuff, they'd obviously been through, there was probably 4 rows of cars, and whilst they'd been through and picked a lot of the clothing, again, it's about having that knowledge. And I managed to pick up a pair of jeans here, which again have been thrown in the mud. What I'll do, I'll have to come up closer, or rather than come up, I'll just put in some little screenshots of the actual labels. A pair of slightly faded black jeans, don't look anything special at all. What is special is that these are a label called Pretty Green. So I'll put the insert pictures so you can see what's what. Pretty Green is a company that is actually owned by, or started by, Liam Gallagher, off of Oasis fame. So Pretty Green jeans, new, you're looking at somewhere between 90 and 100 quid. These ones, they're in pretty good condition. I don't know whether they're faded black or whether they were meant to be faded black. Either way, in used condition, once I've given them a wash, these should go somewhere between 35 and 45 quid. But yeah, they start around £90 new. So I paid all of 50 pence for that. So yeah, it just goes to show just being there first doesn't mean you're going to get the good stuff. You need to know your labels and do your research. So yeah, that very, very good. 50p into potentially 35, 45 pounds. This is a bit good. Now, I may or may not have overpaid for this. I did see it and went and had a look at comps, and in used condition bids it looked like so this is a Star Wars Black Series Darth Vader helmet. Black, with Star Wars you're going to have different ranges of collectibles and toys. Black Series is sort of your higher end type toy or model or display item. New, not dead sure what they were new. This is Black Series for this one. I don't think it's that old. But pre-owned ones on bids on eBay seem to be going for around the 90-ish pound mark. Maybe pushing towards 100. So in my head I thought, well, if I can get it for 40 or less, that seems like I can still make some decent margin after fees. I went to ask, took it out, had a look. I'll take it out in a second. And the lady wanted £50. And to be honest, £50 doesn't leave me much wiggle room for, yes, there's a profit, but £50 is a big outlay for something. And if I'm only selling it for, say, 90 quid, and then you got your fees on top, you're laying out quite a big chunk of money to not get a huge return. I'll get it out. It has got, from what I can see, all the bits it needs, and it is quite a hefty item. The one thing that now I'm a little bit more concerned about is the fact that these, although they seem to go for 90-ish pounds used, I had a look and I did find them some websites where you can still get them brand new for 100. But then when I was looking on eBay, I could see that brand new ones were 150. So maybe it's they're available for 100, but there's very, very low stock and they're hard to get hold of. So maybe there's that. But it's a really, really detailed, high quality item. They've got the Vader neck cowl section, and the detail is incredible. We've got all the detail inside and out. So I'm assuming that I can clip around the back of my neck. This section goes on top somehow. We'll figure that out in a minute. God knows how that goes on. And then on top of that, you then have, what was it going that way up? It's that way up, that's better. Okay, that was really cool. Wasn't expecting that. And then a helmet goes on somewhere like that, I don't know. Now, this is massive. And I'll demonstrate how massive it is, because this is the one that the kids muck around with in the house. Pick this up for 2 quid or 3 quid, I think, at a car boot, or no, charity shop, this one. So you can see there's quite a considerable difference between the two. There are a few rub marks from storage, which is not brilliant. But I'll just have to declare all that. So yeah, quite a difference, those two. So I paid up. She wanted 50. We did the dance. We agreed on 40 in the end, and that was me thinking, well, let's say worst case scenario, sell it for 90, take off my fees. I'm still going to get a decent amount of profit. But when you compare the jeans and the amount of profit, and I've had a 50p outlay, so if it all goes wrong, I've got 50p tied up, and okay, if it takes me a year to sell it, it's 50p tied up. If this takes me a year to sell, that's £40 tied up. So yes, I will make money on this, but I want to flip this quickly. So maybe I need to mate, I'm not decided yet whether I do buy it now or bids. I'll have a look. There aren't many used ones on the market at the minute, and most seem over 100. So maybe if I do buy it now at £95, maybe I'll get rid of it quickly. But I don't want £50 tied up for months and months. The profit margins are going to be reasonably similar, and that's what I've got to look at. This is a much bigger item, bigger to store, bigger to post. I've invested 40 quid there, and any discounts I do are going to take a massive chunk off my margin. The jeans at 50p, discount, if I put them up at higher, say £50 and take 20% off with an offer, I'm still making a huge amount compared to the outlay. So I guess my point is, when you're buying stuff, always consider the size of the item, consider how long you think it's going to take to sell, and your risk. My risk in this, having a £40 outlay, is a lot more than my risk in a 50p pair of jeans. So that was it. It was just a real quick one. Sorry about the rant earlier about people's behaviour, but I just thought it was worth mentioning. People, don't be a dickhead. Be polite. By all means, get there early, get to the front of the queue, but don't be a dickhead. Try to be a decent human being. Watch your risks. Other than that, that's it. I've literally 2 items today, so it's not been the most interesting hauls, but I just thought I'd mention a few bits about these. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions or queries, pop them in the comments. Otherwise, if you wouldn't mind liking, that would be great. It always helps me. And if you haven't already subscribed, hopefully I'll have some better hauls in the future, but please do consider subscribing if you haven't. Otherwise, check out some of my other videos. I've got some other shoe cleaning bits and pieces coming up, and how to add value to shoes, etc. But otherwise, I shall see you next time. Take care.